your perspective on the match?
Yeah, I thought Nick played very well. He's playing very confident right now, very free. Obviously, he always serves well. Yeah, I didn't play great, to be honest. Just didn't find enough on return. Wasn't able to hit my groundies well enough. I thought I served pretty good, but that's probably the only positive I can take away.
Okay. Craig, go ahead.
As Nick was just saying, it's the most uncomfortable he's felt in a match. What was your perspective?
Yeah, it's definitely up there. It was hard to get pumped up, hard to get real fired up in the contest a little bit. Obviously, with what happened before, there was a lot of energy in that first one. It kind of got sucked out a little bit after that, which is understandable. But as well, kind of when we play, it's a bit tough to get that rhythm as well, because two pretty good servers going at it. There's going to be some short points, and it's kind of a lot of first strike tennis, so it's hard to get good rhythm. But yeah, it's never easy playing someone like that. It's it was definitely a bit awkward.
A bit weird playing doubles together again now, or do you sort of feel like you'll fall back into your habits of being friends after a game like that?
Yeah, doubles is fine. We're fine. We're talking rubbish in the locker room already. Nick was sending me memes 5 minutes before the match started on Instagram and stuff, so we're fine. It's just when you get out there, it's hard to get pumped up, and obviously we competed, but it's hard to have that same fire a little bit.
Okay. Howard?
Along those lines, Nick was saying that he was basically trying not to look at your face. He was trying to think of you as just like another player out there, look at the body and not recognize his good friend on the other side of the net. Did you feel those kinds of feelings too, in terms of maybe even trying to pretend you're not playing someone who's a good mate, a doubles partner you've known forever?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I looked at his face a bit. I don't know, I was playing him, so... No, the weird thing was kind of hearing support from his box to Nick, when it's I'm used to it coming to us a little bit. I'll miss a shot and he's like, let's go, Nick. So I was like, it was a bit weird. It just felt weird behind it. It's nothing bad at all. It's just an uncomfortable feeling. But it was vice versa as well. It was weird. It almost felt like a bit of a practice match. It didn't have the same sort of match intensity. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Okay, a couple more questions. Back.
You said after playing Novak at Wimbledon, you basically tipped him to win the crown, and you delivered without putting pressure on Nick. Sorry. You said after playing Novak at Wimbledon, you tipped him to win the crown. You said how well he was playing. He was, and it was a close run final.
Yeah.
Just wondering, without putting too much pressure on Nick, how well is he playing in comparison? Yeah, you've had two guns in the last two slams. How well is he playing in comparison?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. I've lost to a couple of decent players. My last two slams, would be nice to meet them a little bit later, but that's the way it goes until I get my ranking up and try and get seeded. But they're just different. Nick obviously serves a lot better than Novak, and Novak's returns are the best in the business, maybe the best ever. So it's a different sort of game style, but Nick's definitely playing with the most freedom. I've seen him play from the back of the court, and it puts a lot of pressure on your serve and groundies, because if you don't serve as well as you need to, he's just going to play, and he's an incredible front runner. So if he gets ahead and feeling confident, it makes it really tough. So scoreboard pressure is everything, and yeah, a couple of loose games in the first and second set, especially the second set. I thought I gave it away a little bit, and you can't have that against someone that's so high on confidence.
Okay, we'll have two more questions here, and then Craig, you can have the last question.
So you mentioned earlier you felt like you didn't return as well as you wanted, and that your groundies, you said, were a little off. How much of that do you feel like was hard to get pumped up, and maybe you were just a little off? And how much of it do you think, as you said, is Nick's playing freely, he's serving great, and he's playing and moving really well from the baseline?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both, to be honest. It's frustrating for me personally. I know I can do a lot better. I know I can play a lot better the last few weeks. I've had a couple tough losses, especially the last 2 weeks. I felt like I should have won both those matches that I lost 7-6 in the third, so it was frustrating a little bit coming in. Been playing good in practice, and then, it's just annoying you can't find it's always going to be tougher in a match, but I've definitely got some gears I can go to, and I haven't found them yet, so I've got to get better and got to do a bit more, I think.
All right, Craig, last question.
Thanasi, you've been saying about these really tight matches that you've lost. When you compare this one to some of those, is this like a worse loss, or an easier one to get over, or is it a case of a loss is a loss?
A loss is a loss. There's not many moral victories, to be honest. The last two, I definitely felt like I was in the driver's seat to win. Against Sinner and the match last week against Ducks, both of those I felt like I should have won. But yeah, this one was kind of a tussle, and Nick was the better player today. So this one it's frustrating, but I don't go away from it thinking I should have won. Do I think I could have played a lot better? Yes, and made a bit more of a match of it. But I definitely, it's just a different loss. All losses though, so that's all the record shows.